All right, I'm here at GenCon 2011. The limited championship just happened. I'm here with, I guess you split the championship with Bernie, so kind of a first and second. Nobody really knows who got what. You guys are both champions as far as I'm concerned. Matt, or Moxless. Moxless, as you're known to those who know. So tell me a little bit about your deck. You had a sealed deck and a draft deck. What were your thoughts on those things?
The sealed was, I played 4 colors. Just tried to splash one icon each to start off with, and then run heavy of both greed and obsession in the deck. Just kind of fight my way through the top 8. Had a draw. I'm a control player. I don't really like to rush, so I always go second, regardless if I win a roll or not.
Nice.
I do it. I've been doing it since spoils have been around. I'm a very defensive player, so going into the draft, I know these guys very, very well, so I know there's going to be a lot of aggro, so I did defensive again. I had 3 pillaging auditors in my deck.
Ooh.
So, and 2 alluring quicksands, so definitely played defensive. Really respond to my opponent's turn and just try to take it from there.
Nice. So with you always going second, how important is it for you to draft or to pull in turn 0 plays whenever you're building?
Ideally, it's what I would like. Most of the time, it doesn't happen. But I like that 9th card. I really feel like sometimes that does swing a little bit. And usually, I just play a resource and then draw. So I always have 9 cards. Why I can at least have the card advantage on table. And then I try to stay up with resources and then just try to respond. Like I said, I do a lot of defensive, so I'm very responding back to my opponent.
Now we got Bernie's opinion on it. He almost always plays resources. 99% will play a resource. What about you? Do you have a rule about drawing or playing resources? Is it all just intuition?
I never draw before 6.
Okay.
So even if you got a force pull, a really tough card that you always build, just because it's going to bite you back later on if you don't. So nice. I'm 100% in agreement with Bernie with that one.
All right, so I got 2 more questions here at the end. For new players, you and Bernie and all these guys who are always constantly in the top 8 of these kinds of events might be saying to themselves, how do I get to where they are? What bit of advice would you give to players starting out with spoils?
Well, first, I've been playing card games probably for 15 years now. Started with Magic.
Yeah.
I think that's everyone's backbone.
Yeah.
I feel like Spoils has the best mechanics of a card game I've ever played in my 15 years, and I played a lot of them. To get good, I can tell everyone, and I've made some monumental mistakes in my early Spoils days. You make a big mistake, you never make it again, and you learn. Spoils, I think, is by far the best game to learn how to play, and then just practice. Even though it's not a competitive game out on the entire, forefront. My friends and I, we keep it alive at the store, and we play competitively. We build decks, we draft, we play sealed. It's just like any game. You practice and get good people around you. I know my store. I'm part of Grasshopper Comics, Team Hopper. We always try to get new players in the game, so we always have them try to reach out to us if we need to. We'll set them up with commons, uncommons, rares, different, and we like to see more people, but just practice.
Well, that was my last question. If you could, tell people we're trying to grow the game and the game's doing really good. We feel like it's really expanding. What could you tell people who are frustrated, who may not have people in the area? What can they do to really get a following like you've done?
Actually, last GenCon I met a couple people from New Zealand who shoot me emails. They talk about their deck list. They send me their email. They ask me for my input. I send it back to them. I give all my deck lists. So, the deck that I played yesterday at the Constructed was actually the deck list that I won from the Spring Constructed. Just tweaked a little bit. I'm always free to give my deck list out. I'm not one of those guys to, shelter it.
Yeah.
And as far as the practicing, sometimes you just got to run a mock game by yourself just to see how it plays out. Just like any other game, I used to play Magic, couldn't practice all the time with everybody else, so you just run a couple decks together and just try to get it done that way. I think the advantage of Spoils has that it is growing, but there aren't that many sets out yet. So even if you were to get into it, you don't have to be so far behind. And like today, most of them were just seed block, which is 2 sets. Yeah. So it's easy to come enough in the game instead of spending thousands of dollars like Magic or WoW. So I think that's a huge plus that the game has.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much. Congratulations,
Thanks again.
and we'll see you again.